So for Module 2's Talking Head Reflection, we're talking about the 4 C's of project-based learning. And the first question you asked us was, how would you define the 4 C's of 21st century skills? And I mean, I don't know what you mean by how we would define them. I mean, the 4 C's are critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, along with innovation, and communication. And of course, these are the 4 staples, as you might call it, for project-based learning. It's not something that you're teaching separately necessarily. It's something that makes up the whole project-based learning process. You can't have one without the other, kind of thing. So critical thinking is kind of the game changer. That's, to me, that would be the main reason to do project-based learning, is because kids are learning skills, they're learning basics, things like that, but then you give them a problem and it's like, you know, the sky is falling in. They can't think on their own. They need a place where they can learn to think and learn to problem solve. Collaboration is a key component. It includes the teachers and the students and the leaders all collaborating with each other, collaborating like teachers and students and administrators, you know, collaboration on all levels. Creativity and innovation obviously is also a big part of the project-based, because whatever their question is, whatever they're trying to solve, they're going to be able to create their, I call it their end game. However they want to present their idea, that's where the creativity comes in, is they get to make up how they present it to their peers. And communication, obviously, if you're working in groups, you're going to have to learn to communicate with each other. You're going to have to learn to communicate via presentations. And I think the communication, kind of like in the videos we're saying, goes a long way. I mean, your interviewing skills for college, for jobs, giving speeches. If you're doing project-based learning, a lot of time they've already given speeches, lots of speeches throughout their school careers. Something that I thought was really neat was back on the collaboration, when they're working in groups of 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. One of the people suggested that they draw up contracts with each other. So the students actually create contracts between each other so that they know what their responsibilities are and who is going to be held responsible for which aspect of the project. That way you can't have that, you know, 2 people work, 1 person sits there and gets credit for it. The 4 C's came about because that's what the Business and Industries report of the missing skills that they're getting when they come out of high school, come out of college, that these things are just not there the way they need to be. The second question, how can project-based learning facilitate the implementation and fostering of these 4 C's? Well, some of this I kind of combined together, but critical thinking, by working through the problem scenarios, they're learning to be proactive. And I thought it was really neat in the videos how they saw kids applying the critical thinking to their real life. The one that really stood out to me was the cancer. The mom who got cancer and the girl who wanted to sit down, okay, well, we need to make a plan. What do we know? What do we need to know? I mean, that's just really awesome to have kids thinking on their own and wanting to get involved and knowing and having the confidence that they can make a difference. Collaboration, I mentioned earlier, to draw up contracts with each other, to know responsibilities. They learn how to be held responsible and learn how to depend on colleagues, because part of collaboration is learning how to work together. Some people want to just do it all. You have to learn how to relinquish that control a little bit. Creativity, again, I said earlier, the students control the end game. So that's a lot of how PBL brings in the creativity and the innovation, is they can make speeches, they can make PowerPoints, they could write a book, they could do a magazine or a brochure. I mean, anything you could think of to present their solution, I guess you could call it, to whatever they were trying to figure out. Communication would be, you know, if they had an interviewing process, giving the speeches, talking to each other. If they had to go out and talk to other people to get information about their topic. Question number 3, what experiences do you have with the 4 C's being implemented in today's school? As far as my school, The only thing I can think of would be on its own would be collaborate. I teach math lab classes, so a lot of time they're working in group or partners and doing activities and manipulatives together. So they are learning to work together. I don't think they're learning to work together as well as they would if I was doing project-based, or even if I put that on them a little bit more, where they had a little more responsibility and having to learn to talk to each other and not yell at each other and argue and get defensive, and just learn to work together. But other than that, I don't see I don't see critical thinking in our schools. I've been talking about it for the last couple of years, that I wanted to do project-based because, something has to be done there. The kids just are not thinking on their own. And, of course, creativity and communication. Communication, the kids communicating their ideas when you're asking them questions in class, but to me that's not where the, one of the C's is coming from in this project-based learning. And the last question, how important do you think the 4 C's are in today's education? I think they are very, very important, not only in today's education, but in the real world. If in a job, you're going to have to know how to communicate with each other. You're going to have to be able to problem solve. You're going to have to be able to collaborate with colleagues. If you come in and you're a one-man team, and you're even, use teaching for example, and you've got 4 other teammates, that relationship, that dynamic is not going to go well if you're doing it all on your own and not working with your other colleagues to come up with new ideas to help each other, because everybody has different experiences to bring to the table. Thank you.